Does mornings with your preschooler feel like a whirlwind? Let's make 2025 the year that you master a preschool-friendly routine all year round. Hey, my name is April Knight Copeland. I'm a parenting journalist and mom of a 5-year-old preschool. And here on my YouTube channel, I give practical tips for millennial moms so that we can master motherhood one kid at a time. In this video, we're going to be talking about morning routines, night routines, building consistency, as well as how to schedule activities that your children will actually find beneficial so that they can go to sleep at night and be productive throughout the day when they're not at school. As we all know, children benefit best when they're on a routine. It helps to build security, it manages their behavior, and letting people know what they have to expect throughout the day, especially with children, lowers their anxiety of the unknown. Unlike us adults, where we can kind of manage our feelings when we have unexpected things happen, children's behavior aren't exactly set up like that. So having routines allows them to feel more normalized and confident in what is going to happen so that you can anticipate things that make them upset and vice versa. For example, every time I get off work at 5 p.m., my son knows that for 30 minutes we practice his tracing and his writing. There's no fussing because we've already built up a cadence that at 5 p.m. when I close my laptop, we start working on those fine motor skills. It decreases his anxiety of the unknown. Unlike parents and adults where we can kind of manage our emotions better when things kind of get off a script, children exactly aren't like that because they're still brand new. So developing routines allows them to feel more confident in what is going to happen, and it lowers the chance of them acting out of bad behavior. Now let's get into an easy step-by-step guide on how to set up a routine for your preschooler. And we're going to start with building a consistent morning routine. Waking up consistently at the same time every day is going to be super important. Not only is it important for you when you have to get to work, but it also kind of builds in a set amount of time of how much your child actually gets to sleep. For example, starting the night before, if your child's going to bed at 8 p.m. and they wake up at 7 a.m., waking them up at 7 a.m. allows their body to build an internal clock of waking up around that time. Making sure that they're waking up at the same time allows them to also feel more rested, and it gives you an idea of whether or not they've had a good night's sleep. So starting with a strong time of waking up every single day, obviously things happen. You may oversleep, they may get sick, but starting with a set time every day that you're going to wake your child up is a good start of having yourself and your child on a good routine. For example, let's say your child has to be at school at 8:15, start working backwards on how long they have to eat, how long it takes you to make their breakfast. All of these things help build consistency. Your child also picks up on this. So if you say, for example, we leave the house at 8 a.m. every day, they know that when they look at a clock, even if they don't exactly know what 8 a.m. is, by the time they get to preschool age, they know 8:00. So if they look at the clock, they know like, okay, I've had to have eaten, brushed my teeth, washed my face by this time. Children are very observant, so backing out of the time that you need to leave the house or be at school and verbally saying like, okay, you have 10 minutes to eat because we leave at 8 a.m. Those are the type of things to build consistency with that time frame as well. But saying these things out loud allows them to feel more confident that they know mommy or daddy at 8 a.m. says you have 10 minutes before we leave. You also want to build out a time to incorporate different blocks of learning. So as I mentioned, at 5 p.m. for 30 minutes, my child and I work on his tracing. If it's not a school day, that you can build out to incorporate learning. For example, maybe on the weekends, you do a family activity where you go to a museum, you go to a park, just making sure you're incorporating some learning time in between them going to school. I know it is very, very hectic, and that you get the break when they're at school and then you come home and then you have to school them too. This is really the time in their lives that they are the most malleable, and this is where they soak up the most information. So building out consistent times for them to learn even after school and on the weekends, it's going to be super important. At this age, sensory play, building with blocks, working on fine motor skills, gross motor skills are going to be important. Riding a bike, if you're in a cold climate like I am, it might be a little hard to do that, but just think about ways that you can get them to work on their handwriting, work on them pushing and pulling and putting on clothing, taking off clothing, tying their shoe, untying their shoe. These are things that you can set up for 5-10 minutes every day that helps them build a foundation for learning throughout the week. This might be controversial, but you have to also start setting boundaries around screen time. I know, trust me, as someone who works from home, it can be a relief having your child on the tablet. But as they're matriculating higher into the grades, they cannot be on the screen all the time. I know. Usually my rule of thumb, while I'm working, I will allow my son to be on the tablet during the weekday. At 5 o'clock, he takes a break. And usually we have the break for like an hour at a time. Sometimes my husband and I have an event to go to, or we'll have to do something and he has to get back on the tablet. But communicating the boundaries that your child now has around the tablet or screen time is going to be important. Same thing for TV shows. What we try to do is every week watch a family show like Abbott Elementary, so that it's a block of time that we are watching something together. Outside of that, if he is not watching his tablet while I'm working, I will allow him to watch his favorite TV show. That again is another way of establishing boundaries for the screen time. After I am finished work or my activity, I will set a timer like you have to be off for an hour, 15 minutes, just to give their little minds a break. This is also another good way of introducing other forms of learning for them, so that if they're not on the tablet, they're still getting stimulated. This is another thing that I find that a lot of other parents have nailed down, but I'm gonna hold you. I haven't been able to really get a good nighttime routine for my son. And that is just because of our working schedule. My husband and I at times can work very late, and my son just wants mommy and daddy home. So there are some nights where he is going to bed a little later than I want to admit. But we know that at a certain time, all the lights go out and he is resting. Also, what we build into the routine is we cut the lights off, put your pajamas on, brush your teeth, wash your face, read a book, or if it's family night, we'll watch a television show, and then all the lights go out. That is something we've also built into the night routine. If your child has a tough time going to sleep, there are sound machines for preschoolers like the Hatch and other things like a star projection that you can incorporate for your child to help them go to sleep. There are night lights. I feature a lot of this stuff on my LTK. I will link that in the description box below so that you can follow me there, where I share a lot of product reviews and products that I've used in my 5 years of being a mom. If your child is a visual learner like myself, sometimes building out a manual schedule is going to help it click for you and them. This is an easy way to get them involved in making a family schedule. Here's an example of one of the calendars that I got from Etsy, and we add really important things in there. I also have one in my room that I'm filming in right now, where I will write out my daily schedule. When your child sees that you're doing this, this also helps them keep track of all the tasks that you have to do throughout the day and things they might have to do out the day as well. Children are very, very observant. So if you're picking up a habit or doing a task, they will want to do it or pick up on it as well. Building a routine doesn't have to be complicated, but it does require 3 major factors. You want to build consistency in the morning, you want to build consistency in the evening, and you want to set boundaries and time constraints around things that you can and cannot do at certain times of the day. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comment section below about some of the routines that you have established with your family and your children that have worked really well. Sharing routines with each other can only benefit other new parents who don't quite have preschoolers or who want to add something new to their routine. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I put up videos every week to help us millennial moms master motherhood, because it's crazy out here, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Check out this video here where I talk about seasonal tips that you can adopt for your family no matter what time of the year. See you there.